news, politics, music, and stupid internet culture. Broadcasting live from the middle of nowhere, Oklahoma. This is the Okie Patriot 76 podcast.
All right, what is up, everybody? Hope everybody out there is doing well, and welcome back to another episode of the podcast. Thank you so much for joining me in today's episode. I am the Okie Patriot 76. I really do appreciate your time out there, and anybody out there who listens to the show. I just appreciate you, and there's so many podcasts out there you can listen to. There's so much stuff happening out there in the world. I decided to bring the show back, and hopefully I'm going to try so hard to get episodes out. And I put out an episode yesterday. If you haven't listened to it, it was a 2-hour episode. Way too long. But it was needed, and I had a lot of stuff to say, and I appreciate anybody who's listened to it. But I don't want that to happen again because I want to stay consistent, and I'm really trying really hard to, especially with election coming up, there's so much information out there that I've missed that I wished I would have talked about on a podcast. And so I can get those clips up and post them on other platforms. And so I'm really trying to put out original content. That's what I'm trying to say. But podcasting has always been something that I have, it's not really a strong suit of mine, but I'm in a place in my life where I am trying to do things that I'm uncomfortable with, and this is one of them. It's not something I'm good at, and it's not something it's something I have to work at. And if you're new here, I've talked about in the past on past episodes that I grew up with a stutter and speech issues, and I still struggle with that. But this podcast, if nothing else, has allowed me to get over that. And I just appreciate everybody out there for listening, and I really do appreciate that. But so I think the plan for me right now is to do the podcast audio only, and then I will upload either clips or segments on YouTube or Rumble. And so today, for example, I put up 3 videos. In case you haven't seen it, I did a story about a professor getting fired in Kansas for something he said about Trump voters. I did a story about the 400,000 catalog protesters, and there was an update. I want to give you guys an update before I go any farther. This was posted a little bit after I recorded that video, and this is from one of the people on the ground there, Vanny Hari. She posted, "When we arrived at Catalog U.S. headquarters to deliver our 400,000 petitions, I looked up and couldn't believe my eyes. Inside the building, an employee had written, 'Get off my lawn,' in his office, on his office whiteboard. There are hundreds of moms outside on that lawn. They don't care about Americans. They don't deserve anybody's hard-earned dollars. They are poisoning us for profit." So that's something I'll get into. I'm basically just going to repurpose that video that I uploaded and into audio form. So, but that's something that happened today, and also I did a video just a few minutes ago about a business owner in North Carolina that is having some issues with FEMA, and they're basically, FEMA told them, you have 30 days to get out of here. This is our space now. So that's something that's happening out there in the world. But another big story that, and I talked about North Carolina for 30 minutes on the podcast yesterday. If you haven't checked it out, it's not that I'm not talking about it. It's like I'm talking about it, but there are other things that are happening, and I know that people, that's an important topic, North Carolina, but I know people out there like to hear a variety of stuff. So, but I also did a video yesterday talking about Joe Rogan This was last night actually, but Joe Rogan, there's some word on the street out there that Kamala Harris might be on the Joe Rogan Experience, and of course that's the big story today. A lot of people are talking about it. Donald Trump has officially won like the podcast campaign. What I mean by that is like he's on all these podcasts, and Joe Rogan is like the final beast that he has to fight. I thought he was great on Andrew Schultz's podcast. I thought he was incredible. I listened to it, and he was hilarious on there. I also saw that he was on Bussin' with the Boys, which is like a Barstool sports podcast, and then he was also on Nelk, and on Nelk, which was released yesterday. I haven't watched it yet. He said that he might go on Joe Rogan, so I think that would be huge, and I think that. I don't know all the details. I don't know if it's actually going to happen. Probably not with Kamala. And if you know anything about Joe, he has said in the past he's not really wanting to help Trump, and he doesn't want to endorse anybody really. But if you actually listen to his show, he has been very critical of the left and Kamala, and he sounds like a Trump supporter to me without actually blatantly coming out and supporting him. But Joe Rogan is one of those guys where he is already basically a Trump supporter because people have accused him for years of being one, and so he might as well just come out. I mean, he might as well just come out and endorse Trump. I mean. At this point, I mean, he already basically is in the eyes of the left, right? And so, but I totally understand that Joe wants to be fair, and he wants to be honest and unbiased and objective about things, and he wants to look at things from different perspectives. And I think that I think that a JRE interview would be incredible. For either candidate, because like I said, I put a video up there on social media that said it's going to expose either candidate to their true self. What I mean by that is like there are people out there that think Trump is a certain way when he's not really, and the media has done a great job at painting either candidate and covering up who they really are. And there's people out there that think Kamala Harris is a certain way. And I think it would be a great opportunity for either candidate to promote their actual self. And I actually proposed the idea of I think that there should be 3 episodes. One with Kamala and Trump together, and then the other 2 with either candidate. But I don't think the Harris campaign will agree to that. I just don't think that that's going to be a thing. I just really don't think that. I just don't think that's going to happen, because if you know anything about Joe, he's going to talk about some shit. He's going to bring up your past. He's going to bring some things up that are going to be controversial, and he's going to talk about things in front of you, and he's going to bring some shit up, and he's going to grill you on some things. Well, the Harris campaign is not going to do that. They're not going to go for that. They're probably going to say Jamie is not allowed in the producer chair or some bullshit like that, because they're going to pull up that video. Oh, you didn't say that? Jamie, pull that up. and he's going to pull up a video of you saying that, right? And so that's what's great about his show is it's real-time fact-checking. And I mean, that's the great thing about podcasting. Podcasts like that. Jamie is one of the best, but there's other podcasts out there that are able to do that, right? So, but I don't have a producer. I am the producer, right? So it takes me a little bit long, but I try to do that if I feel wonky about something, I try to like look it up real quick. But I think that'd be a great use of their time. But I really just don't see Kamala Harris on that show. Trump would go on there in a heartbeat. But I think that if you're gonna do it, you gotta have two candidates, or at least that's what I think Joe would want, just to be fair with people. But I mean, she didn't go on Theo Vaughn whenever he offered it. She didn't go on Dave Ramsey, which, by the way, Dave Ramsey is getting a lot of heat. Have you seen this? Dave Ramsey, a lot of people don't like him anymore. Like he is getting a lot of backlash. So he did the Trump interview, Dave, and it gone viral on my page. I put it up on TikTok, and it got like 500,000 views on my TikTok. It was crazy, but it was wild, and it was a really good interview, I thought. But then he's going to have on there tomorrow Ben Shapiro, and people just can't believe that Dave Ramsey is like a conservative. I'm like, have you actually listened to his show? I mean, the dude is still bashing Fauci. He's still bashing the Biden administration for shit they did. Right, he fucking hates the government. I think he's very careful about, he hasn't really came out and endorsed Trump, but if you actually listen to his show, he's very conservative. I've listened to his show for 10 years, right? Like he's one of the first podcasts I've actually listened to and like downloaded. Like he's the reason why I downloaded the podcast app, because I used to listen to him on the radio. Same with he's one of the only few out there that I can think of, but he kind of have lost me. I don't know if anybody else out there agrees, but he kind of lost me. Not on this, but they thought it was a good idea to make their audience download an app to listen to their full show, and so then I was like, I'm done. Like, there's other podcasts to listen to. I'm not listening to it. And honestly, it's kind of the same information over and over again. If you listen to him for a long period of time, it's the same thing. Like, it's the same. Like, they vet their callers, and they know what they're going to talk about, and they know kind of the theme of the call, and it's like the same answer over and over again. I kind of got tired of the show. I like Dave Ramsey. He's a great dude, and he has a lot of good advice for people out there trying to get out of debt. And I applaud him for having on Trump and people on his show. And I think that I'm really looking forward to seeing that Ben Shapiro interview. I think that that's going to be interesting. But he had Vivek on his show recently, like a couple months ago. So the dude is a conservative, but it's so wild to see people like finding that out. It's just like, have you listened to his show? Like, it's so wild. Anyway. Speaking of Trump, did you guys see that he is scheduled to work at a McDonald's this weekend? I love Trump for shit like this, man. It's just a I love it, dude. Trump kind of pisses me off sometimes. He kind of gets under my skin a little bit but he does that with everybody. Like people on the left, people in the middle, people on the right. Like he's a professional pot stirrer, right? But apparently, well, it's not official yet, but this is from CNN. Former President Donald Trump is expected to visit a McDonald's Sunday in Pennsylvania and work the fry cooker. A source familiar with the matter tells CNN. This comes as Trump has reportedly claimed Vice President Kamala Harris never actually worked at McDonald's, which she's never worked at. Like, she grew up in a wealthy family in Canada. Why would she need to? So anyway, that is the part of Trump I absolutely love. Is just like I can't wait for that video. And you guys know me, I'm not really a big Trump guy, but I fucking love that dude. That is like the funniest shit ever. Like you can't out troll the Trump. Like some of the shit he posts and says is absolutely cringe and dumb. But I just think this is just like the funniest thing ever. Like, and the reason why I love it is because it gets under the skin of the left. It's kind of like the eating cats and dogs thing. Like Bill Maher. Did you see that clip of Bill Maher? Of like it was a conversation. It was his conversation with Dr. Phil, and it was recorded like several weeks ago. Like some of his podcast is not recent, by the way. Like, and I was listening to like I started listening to it Saturday or Sunday whenever it came out. And I just turned it off because I was just like, I don't really want to. I like Dr. Phil, but Bill Maher, I wasn't really getting into the interview, but I didn't realize that he said this, but Bill Maher is insane when it comes to Trump. Like he has like this certain level of TDS. Like go check out that clip. Just type in Bill Maher, Dr. Phil. It's out there somewhere of him. He was. It's so hilarious. It's so funny. The reason why I find stuff like this funny is because it gets under the skin of people. And, you know, it may not be true that they're eating the cats and dogs, but it is true that Haitian people eat stuff like that. Right? And so and I'm not going to get into that, but that was a pretty big story, you know, like a month ago. But, stuff like this is my favorite part of Trump is because it drives the left crazy. It's so wild. But anyway, I'm looking forward to that. I think that's going to be funny. Just like with this. Did you guys see this? Here he is doing an interview with Bloomberg News, and he mispronounced Gavin Newsom's name. And the reporter corrected him. Listen to this.
Gavin Newsom, he's the governor of California. Newsom. He signed Newsom. Like,
do you think?
No, he corrected me. He corrected me. I said, that's the first time I've been corrected.
There are CEOs out here. If they said those sort of things about a rival CEO, they'd be sacked. Do you think it's fine
they don't
for
have
a
to survive like they don't have to go through what I have to go. There's never been a president that's been treated like so I have to fight my own way.
Now, do I think that he, you know, should be a little bit more professional about that kind of thing? Of course. But I think why he says it and why I like him saying stuff like that because it gets under people's skin. It makes them go crazy. And names like that, there's some truth to that because Gavin Newsom is not the best governor, right, out there. It's no secret. I mean, I saw an article, like, I didn't look into it, but he's wanted to give illegal immigrants unemployment benefits. I mean, like, are you kidding me? It's just wild, dude. Don't live in California, man. It's just a mistake. There's so many people moving here from California. I talked about a buddy of mine I work with. He moved here from Seattle, and just because it got so bad up there. But anyway, I want to talk about. Speaking of Oklahoma, I want to talk about a couple stories, and then I'll play the audio from the clips I did today. Listen to this. This happened. I don't know when this happened. This happened recently here in Oklahoma. Yesterday, Monday. This is from Oklahoma City. A man is locked up after a standoff with Oklahoma police, during which he called News 4 to tell us there was a misunderstanding. He claimed police didn't have the authority over him because he claimed both his home and himself was part of a macro nation called Ladonia, which is a small, non-existent country in Sweden. This is a macro nation. It's not Oklahoma. D'Angelo Sherfield said According to Ladonia.com, a macronation is about 1.5 square miles in southern Sweden. It's a real place, but no one lives there. Ladonia was proclaimed a micronation in 1996 after an artist fought local authorities over 2 sculptures he made on a natural reserve, which was not allowed. Citizenship is free with a simple application online, or you can become a noble by paying $30. I think this is one of those. What was that scam where you could buy like a plot of land in like England and become like a lord or something like that? And that company went under. It was like some kind of lord ownership, like .com or whatever it was. It was a big thing. All the YouTubers were talking about it. All the YouTubers, and it ended up being a fake thing where it was dumb. But it was something like that where you paid like $50 or whatever, and you became like a legal landowner in this other country. It was dumb. It sounds like the same thing. I don't know. I may be wrong. I am a noble from the foreign country of Ladonia, Sherfield told News 4. However, the terms and conditions note Ladonian citizenship confers no benefits, and that citizenship in Ladonia is symbolic. Sherfield calls News 4 on Sunday while police were outside his home. They have my house on the news right now, he said. Officers said the situation started as a property dispute where Sherfield allegedly threatened somebody. He said he was going to kill me, so he chased me, he told News 4. Police said that they eventually caught up with Sherfield, turned on their lights, and followed his car. That guy didn't pull over. Instead, the 46-year-old drove home and wouldn't come out. That's when officers found him outside, found out about his past. He actually is a fugitive out of Logan County, which is a county here in Oklahoma. He's wanted for possession of firearm after a former conviction. He got some sovereign citizen type tendencies, Captain Benjamin Moore said. According to court documents, Guthrie police pulled over Sheridan in March for speeding. Officers said there was a apparent invalid printed tag on his car stated right to travel private, nation of Ladonia. It also didn't have a month, date, state, or tribal listed, and it was made of plastic, which was warping on the left side. During the traffic stop, Guthrie police asked Sheridan's ID. He produced a nation. So he asked for a ID to be produced, and then he gave him a Nation of Ladonia laminated card, which was not sealed well and cut unevenly with his photo, with his name Noble D'Angelo Sharesfield Good. It's kind of like, remember that movie The Benchwarmers, where they asked for the ID and handed a photo, and it's like, I am 12, or, yeah. Oh my God, that was... I am all about being independent from the government, but come on, like there's certain rules you have to follow. I don't agree with fucking paying like registration on a car you already own. Like that's some bullshit. I fucking hate it every time I have to go, and it's and I actually respect the hell out of this guy for like, but it's something that it's one of those things where you kind of have to go, I get it, but it's kind of like, I don't want to be in his shoes right now, because it's kind of like, he did some not so good things in the past, and but anyway, officers said they also found a gun in his car that Sheriffsfield didn't tell them about. He was also refusing to get out of the car. So police proceeded to tase him. So I'll just play this video in case you didn't get all that. Here's a better explanation from News 4.
And is locked up after a standoff with Oklahoma City police, during which he called News 4 to tell us it was all a misunderstanding. On the phone, D'Angelo Sherfield said police had no authority over him because he claimed he's a citizen of a micronation called Ladonia. As News 4's Caitlin Ogle explains, this isn't the first time he's given police the same excuse.
Anyone can apply to become a citizen of Ladonia, a tiny patch of land in Sweden. It's a simple online application, and if approved, they'll send you an ID card. That's what the suspect tried to give Guthrie police during a traffic stop in March.
This is a micronation. It's not Oklahoma, this property.
D'Angelo Sherfield calling News 4 Monday while police were outside his home near Hefner and Rockwell.
They have my house on the news right now.
Officers say this started as a property dispute where Sheffield allegedly threatened someone.
He said he was going to kill me. He started chasing me.
Officers eventually turn on their lights and follow his car.
The guy doesn't pull over.
Instead, the 46-year-old drives home and doesn't come out. That's when officers discover Sherfield's past.
He's actually a fugitive out of Logan County. He's wanted for possession of a firearm after foreign conviction. He's got some sovereign citizen type tendencies.
In March, Guthrie police pulled over Sherfield for speeding. On his car was an apparent invalid printed tag, supposedly from the nation of Ladonia. According to Ladonia.org, the micronation is about 1.5 square miles in southern Sweden. Citizenship is free, $30 to become a noble.
I'm a noble from a foreign country of Ladonia.
However, the terms and conditions note Ladonian citizenship confers no benefits, and that citizenship in Ladonia is symbolic. During the traffic stop, Guthrie police asked for Sherfield's ID. He produced a Nation of Ladonia laminated card, which was not sealed well and cut unevenly with his photo and name, Noble D'Angelo Sherfield Good. Officers say they found a gun in his car that he didn't tell them about after Sherfield refused to come out, so police tased and arrested him. Fast forward to the standoff, Sherfield told us the situation was out of local law enforcement jurisdiction.
So we need somebody from foreign affairs to come mediate the situation.
Eventually, Sherfield ended up back behind bars once again. In Oklahoma City, Caitlin Ogle, Oklahoma's News 4.
And
yeah, look, I totally respect the guy. I don't like the government either. I don't like rules out there. But you gotta respect the police whenever you're in this situation, and you gotta not resist arrest and all this. Like, I don't know. I just feel like, you're wasting people's time. You're wasting the officer's time. I thought that was a wild story. Maybe some people out there disagree with that, but that's just my opinion on that. How in the world did I not know that James Woods? Did you guys hear this? James Woods is apparently making a album that is releasing this Friday with legendary producer Shooter Jennings, which is he's the son of Waylon Jennings. If you're not familiar with Shooter, he, like I said, he's a producer. He's done his own work. He's released his own stuff. Outlaw You is one of the first songs I heard. He's an absolutely incredible artist. But this type of, I just never would have imagined that James Woods, of all people. So if you don't know who he is, he's an actor that got blacklisted for supporting Trump, and he's a big deal on Twitter. I've never really seen or heard of him before all of this. He's a big deal on Twitter, obviously, but I've never seen any of his movies, to be honest. I probably should go watch him, but he's a legendary actor who is working with a legendary producer. And Shooter Jennings has produced a lot of stuff. I mean, he produced the latest Turnpike Troubadours album, which is absolutely incredible. American Aquarium, did some work with them. But there's a playlist out there you can go check out. Let me pull up that. I'll just give you some more, because he has produced a lot of great music. If I can find this. I can find. So he did. He produced a song for Whitley Morgan in the '78s, and Ivy and the Strange Band, which he is the great-great-grandson of Hank Williams Sr. I guess it's five in the spread. But he also produced Vincent Neil and Emerson, Logan Ledger, and also the Turnpike. So Tanya Tucker, he produced Tanya Tucker's recent album. I did Julia Roberts, she's an incredible artist as well. Kelsey Weldon, did not realize that. Yeah, he's produced a lot of stuff. But an interesting fact about Shooter is he actually is like really good friends, or apparently really good friends with Alex Jones. And there's a clip out there that has gotten erased, like wiped off the internet of, and I don't know if Shooter wanted it down, I don't know, but there's a clip out there apparently of him on Alex's show, like from 10 or 12 years ago. And I found a clip from earlier this year, like a news article from InfoWars. Shooter put out a song called Summer of Rage, which he put out like 10 or 12 years ago, and it's basically talking about enforced injections and like the government controlling people's lives. And it was very like according to Alex, it was influenced by Jones, by Alex Jones. And so, you know, but I also still think it's weird that he's producing this album. So basically, so here's a article from Daily Wire. James Woods and Shooter Jennings are making an album, and I want to play some of this documentary thing that they put out on YouTube. Emmy star James Woods said he's gotten a second act in his life after he started writing songs and working with late country singers Waylon Jennings' son, Shooter Jennings. In a behind-the-scenes clip shared recently on YouTube, the 77-year-old actor explained how his album Hear the Thunder Crack became a reality after crossing paths one night with Shooter, who, after hearing Wood's life's experiences, wanted to put the stars' words into music. And then he asked me the question that literally changed my life, Woods said of Jennings. You ever tried writing any lyrics? Shooter replied, I just felt like you had so many good stories to tell, and it sounded like a fun idea. It's so good to see this happening. Like, I'm sure that they have disagreements about things, but it's so good whenever people come together for the sake of music and for the sake of creative things. It's so awesome. There's so many people out there that I'm like, I never would have expected them to work together or do a podcast. And there's so many examples, I can't even name one, but this one is a good example of like, I never would have thought James Woods and Shooter Jennings would be making an album. So here is a clip that they put up on YouTube of kind of behind the scenes that kind of explains. I think it's cool. It's awesome.
If I were ever in the music business, I'd want to be kind of hip and cool. That's virtually an impossibility because I like to go to dinner at 5 o'clock. Sarah, my wife, and I, we love to go to this place called Dantana's, and we would always go there the minute it opened at 5 o'clock because nobody's as dorky as us, except one night. We're sitting there, we're looking over, and there's the back of this guy. He's got, the tats and the hair, and he was actually wearing his sunglasses.
There was just, I'm instantly intrigued at his life and talking to him, and he's telling us stories about movies, and he's telling us stories about all kinds of stuff.
It's amazing how much connection we had out of curiosity.
Yeah, I think so. I think that's a great way of putting it. I think that's why the unlikely friendship thing that we've put in the press with this, I think it's really because it is. It's like I don't know that we would have met had we not crossed paths at Dantana's, because both our lives are in two different realms in a lot of ways.
And then he asked me the question, that literally changed my life.
Do you ever try writing new lyrics?
That's just the way he said it. And I went,
I just felt like you had so many good stories to tell, and it sounded like a fun idea to hear what lyrics would be like.
I wrote Misty Morning, and I thought, well, I'll send them to him. I sent them actually that night. Maybe got them the next day. And then I didn't hear a word for weeks. And I was so embarrassed. It's like, shit, I sent lyrics to Shooter Jennings and things. He was being polite. Yeah, send me lyrics sometime. He sent this file. I clicked on it. Boom. And for the next 4 minutes, I sat there with Sarah. I can't even express what it feels like to have your words put in music. And he's going to get all fluffy here, but he's so modest, but he sang it so beautifully.
As writing the songs came along, there was just something, there was a wind at my back. It was almost like guiding us.
Right there is the song title, Wind at My Back. I swear to God, Wind at My Back. See, this is how it would happen with us. It's so strange.
So there's a little bit of that. It's like an 8 or 9 minute video on YouTube if you want to go check it out. I don't want to play the whole thing. But basically, James Woods writes the lyrics, and Shooter Jennings does his thing and puts it to music and sings it. And I just think this is so awesome. And I think that there's so many people out there that, like, you hear of like people in the music industry kicking out their band members because they don't agree with like one thing, which is like during COVID, a lot of these bands were kicking out their band members because they didn't take the vax, or that Winston Marshall thing, that situation he was in. What was it? What was that band? Some band from the UK. Winston Marshall. Mumford & Son. He was like one of the founding members of Mumford & Son, and they kicked him out because he liked to tweet on Twitter or he posted about Andy Ngo's book, and Andy Ngo is like this controversial guy he's not controversial to me, but apparently some people find what he does like, racist, or I don't really know why they have a problem with him, but I think Andy Ngo is a great follow on Twitter at least. But anyway, there's so many like, and those decisions probably didn't come from the band. It probably came from the label or like the management. But Shooter Jennings, like, he's a badass dude, and he's worked with so many people, and I respect the hell out of him for putting. And maybe he agrees with James. I don't know. Like I said, he has a history relationship. He has a history of having a relationship with Alex Jones. I mean, I don't think they've spoken in years, but I just think this is so cool, and I can't stop thinking about it. I can't wait to hear the album comes out this Friday on the 18th. So, Hear the Thunder Crack, The Life of James Woods, sung by Shooter Jennings, is a expansive poetic journey into the mind and life of Hollywood legendary Hollywood icon James Woods, put into music by Shooter Jennings. Over the period of 3 years, Jennings weaved the lyrics and poetry written by Woods into a sweeping musical biography. It recorded at Dave's Room Studios in North Hollywood with James and the Highway Storm Orchestra as his backing band. Shooter sang and performed the album as the tape rolled. The result is Hear the Thunder Crack, an unusual but powerful collaboration between two unlikely friends. This is this is so incredible, and like I said, it comes out this Friday. They already released a couple singles called Hollywood Will Kill You or something like that. Let me pull up the exact name. Hollywood Kills Everything. It's basically telling the story of a guy going to Hollywood and having his dreams killed, and that's the story of his life. Like, he had this dream of being a huge star, and he was, and he, from my understanding, he was a legendary actor, and his reputation is now ruined, and he's blacklisted, and he'll never work again. And I think this is so cool, and hats off to Shooter for doing this. I think this is cool. Anyway, I want to switch gears here, and then I will get into the last segments of the recordings that I did earlier. I want to touch on Mama Tot for a second. So Mama Tot is this lady on Instagram, and it went viral on my Twitter. A lot of people have reposted that video and so that's why I want to talk about it. I don't have all the videos pulled up, and I think for the most part people have seen a little bit of that. But if you don't know, during the hurricane, during the whole thing that happened in North Carolina, a lot of people got upset, including Mama Tot. And Mama Tot is this sweet woman, Alabama, who has like 15 million followers or whatever. I don't really follow her. I don't know a lot about her. I know that she's very popular with women. I know that she has a demographic that is like non-political, and she doesn't really talk a lot about politics. But she went and possibly committed career suicide on this deal. So I posted the 2 videos of what people were talking about, and she posted a video of her screaming in her car. Basically, she was saying, "Are you mad? I'm mad. Get mad." And she was just angry about what was happening in North Carolina. Now, she didn't mention FEMA. She didn't mention Trump. She didn't mention Kamala Harris. She didn't mention the $750. She didn't have any idea, she said, about that. A lot of people said that she did originally, but I went and pulled the video directly from her TikTok. So I don't know what people were talking about. She put up an update video saying exactly that. And then a couple days roll by, and then she puts up this video basically calling Trump supporters not good people. And she basically said, "I thought you would know by my actions," and this is her exact words, "I thought you would know by my actions that I was a good person, or that I didn't vote for Trump. I'm a good person." She basically, so she pissed off the left by thinking that, and I totally forgot to add in this part, but she pissed off the left originally with that video of her in her car. She pissed off TikTok and the left by causing people to believe that she was a Trump supporter. And I was like, maybe she is. I have no idea. But she came out and said that she's not a Trump supporter. So I don't know. I feel like Mama Tot caved to the woke mob on this one. And I'm in the middle. Like, I don't really give a shit, honestly. Like, I'm not a follower. I don't have a dog in this race. I'm just looking at this situation and going, that's interesting. That's interesting. Huh. And maybe she's genuine about it. I've seen so many videos from women saying, "I just hate this bitch." I don't know. I don't know. But I think it's very interesting that she pissed off the left and the right in a matter of like a week. And you don't really see that happening. You usually piss off one group of people. I don't know. But that's what happens whenever you have a large following. You can't please everybody. And if I would have been her, I would have just said, it's none of your damn business who I'm supporting, and leave it with that. Now, was she wrong? Was she wrong to be mad? I don't really, like, whenever I first heard this story, I thought, am I missing something? Like, you can go look at my Twitter and my Instagram. I posted this 7-minute video of her explaining what was going on. And I was like, there has to be more to this video, because it was the first video. I put 2 videos, the first video and then the video from the next day, and then also there was the video from the next day after that, saying that Trump supporters is not good people. When I first saw that video of her in her car, I was just like, there has to be more than that. But that was all the video. It was just like she was just screaming and she was upset that she said that she just got off the phone with her people in North Carolina. She's from Alabama. She just got off the phone with her people in North Carolina, and the folks that she knew, or like her friends or family or something, they weren't in a good spot, weren't in a good situation, and she was just pissed about it. She was just pissed about the whole thing, and she didn't say anything political, but I do. This is something that I don't really. There's so many parts of the story that I didn't look into. I mean, I did look at the videos, and my whole For You page has been hurricane videos and Mama Tot. So I feel like I have to talk about it at this point, because the algorithm has been showing me nothing but Mama Tot videos. But I don't really know who this influencer was, but the influencers that started the rumor that she was MAGA, Mama Tot apparently paid her mortgage last month, and now that it's so weird. It's so strange. But like I said, I'm not a fan, and I'm not a fan. She seems like she seems like a sweet woman. I don't really know. I've not watched any of her content. The only thing I know about her is that she makes videos for women, and a couple years ago, she came across my For You page on TikTok because her son, I think it's the same woman, her son got murdered. I'm pretty sure it's the same woman, and it got wrapped up in that, all that horrible story that happened. But that's the only thing I know about her. I don't really watch her. I've followed her since whenever that was, a couple of years ago, but I don't really know anything a lot. I don't watch her content, so. But I thought I would cover that because it went viral on my page, and I just think and people accuse me of cutting out the video or editing the video. It's like, no, I pulled that video directly from her page and posted it. That's all I did. There's not a way, by the way, there's not a way, like YouTube, there's a way to edit out certain things. But on TikTok, once it's up, it's up. So people were accusing either me or her of editing FEMA and the $750 and Trump and Kamala out. But she said none of that. And there's the only way for that to happen is to delete the original video that apparently had that in there and upload it, like re-upload it. But that's not what happened. So maybe it did, but I don't think so. But anyway, guys, that is it for this section of the podcast. Stay tuned for more segments that I recorded earlier that will automatically play after this. Be sure to follow me on social media. Be sure to give this podcast a rating, all that kind of stuff. And give me some feedback on some things. How am I doing? I don't know. I just want to hear some feedback on, like, should I change certain things? Be sure to follow me on the radio channel over on YouTube, Okie Patriot 76 Radio, as well as the Spotify playlist. I feel like I have to promote all this stuff. But I also have another thing to promote before I go. The album that's coming out in a month. I'm uploading that tomorrow, and I just did the final listen to the album, Bill Steele and the Red Dirt Wranglers, I have a new song coming out this Friday called Oklahoma Outlaw. You can go check out the other songs that was released. But I did the final listen for the whole album. I took some songs off and put some other songs back on but it's going to be the last album for that, and I'm kind of done with AI for at least a while. But it's an AI generated album that I have been saving to release. Because it's Oklahoma themed. I think I'm gonna name it Oklahoma Outlaw. I think that's the album name, Oklahoma Outlaw. And but it's releasing on Oklahoma's birthday, on the 16th of November. So anyway, guys, that is it for this segment. Stay tuned for the rest of the show. Thank you so much for listening, and I appreciate you.
Well, I drove my truck right down to town with a grill that's shiny and a dog that's brown. Stopped by the bar, took a long hard look at a man with a latte reading some book. He talked about feelings and saving the trees while I just laughed. Lord help us please. I said, buddy, where's the grit and grime? 'Cause common sense ain't so common this time. Common sense ain't so common no more. Folks trading in the trucks for e-scooters galore. They say the world is changing and life's just too fast. But give me some barbecue and a beer that'll last. They talk about diets and going all vegan while I'm grilling steaks and I ain't even begun. They got the gadgets and their fancy apps, but can't fix a flat or read a paper map. They're worried about climate and electric cars while I'm working the land and playing old guitars. They can't tell the difference between a cow and a steer, and the only thing they're milking is Wi-Fi, I fear. Common sense ain't so common no more. Folks trading in their trucks for e-scooters galore. They say the world is changing and life's just too fast. But give me some barbecue and a beer that'll last. Oh, wow. They're worried about climate and electric cars while I'm working the land and playing old guitars. They can't tell the difference between a cow and a steer, and the only thing they're milking is Wi-Fi, I fear. Common sense ain't so common no more. Folks trading in their trucks for e-scooters galore. They say the world is changing and life's just too fast. But give me some barbecue and a beer that'll last. Yeah, word, buddy.
So let's talk about this Phil Lowcock guy. Phil Lowcock, what a name. But my inner middle schooler self is going to ignore that name and act mature. But I'll just say this. I understand why this guy is unhinged. I would be angry too if that was my name. But at least his name is not Harry. Anyway, so Phil Lowcock was... Okay. University of Kansas professor who suggested during a lecture that men who refuse to vote for a female president should be shot has left the school after videos of the comments went viral on X. Phil Lowcock was a lecturer in the university's Department of Health, Sport, and Exercise Science. He left the school after he was placed on administrative leave Wednesday, according to KU Executive Vice Chancellor Barbara Bettelmeyer. The announcement was made Friday. The university said in a statement it is working to identify a new instructor to assume the responsibility for his classes, and we are working with the students impacted by this change. In a video posted to X, Lowcock can be heard criticizing how some people might approach the election. And this is him saying it, there are going to be some males in our society that will refuse to vote for a potential female president because they don't think females are smart enough to be president. He said, we could line all those guys up and blank them. They clearly don't understand the way the world works. Lowcock then appeared to regret his words just almost immediately. I'll play the clip here in a second. And followed up by saying, did I say that? Scratch that from the recording. I don't want the dean of students to hearing that. Hear that. The university confirmed the video was classroom footage. Betchelmeyer called Lowcock's comments highly inappropriate. She says she apologized to her and other university leaders. He has explained to us that his intent was to emphasize his advocacy for women's rights and equality. He recognizes he did a very poor job of doing so. He didn't even say anything about that. Maybe there was more to the footage, but all I saw was a 30-second clip. Hopefully, I can't find any more footage other than that, but he didn't say. I mean, just what a poor choice of words. I mean, it's just a horror. Like, I mean, I kind of feel sorry for the guy, like I said, because he instantly regretted his thing. I mean, he almost forgot he was being recorded. And anyway, U.S. Senator Roger Marshall, who is a Republican in Kansas, released a statement Wednesday calling for the professor's termination. The University of Kansas must fire this professor immediately. Anyone who says that people who don't vote for Kamala Harris should be lined up and shot are completely deranged and shouldn't be around students nor academia. This promotion of political violence should be met with quick action by KU. Betchelmeyer says she hopes the incident allows for an opportunity to reflect on topics of free speech, care, and respect for others in civil engagement. The free expression of ideas is essential to function in our university, and we fully support academic freedom in our teachers. Like, this is not freedom of speech, though. You can't. I mean, yes, you can say this. You can say what he said, but there will be consequences. So here is the clip that has gone viral on social media over the past week. Here it is.
Guys are smarter than girls. You got some serious problems. That's what frustrates me. There are going to be some males in our society that will refuse to vote for a potential female president because they don't think females are smart enough to be president. We could line all those guys up and shoot them. They clearly don't understand the way the world works. Did I say that? Scratch that from the recording. I don't want the deans hearing that I said that.
Yeah, so that's a horrible thing, but at least the university, this is from October 9th, the University of Kansas, the university is aware of the classroom video in which an instructor made an inappropriate reference to violence. The instructor is being placed on leave, placing further investigation. The instructor offers his sincerest apologies and deeply regrets the situation. His intent was to emphasize his advocacy for women's rights. And I think I already read this. So anyway, this is but of course they turned the comments off on here. But this is what happens when, look, I mean, everybody makes mistakes. I'm not going to dog the guy too hard. I mean, I don't really know the guy, but you just don't say shit like this, especially when you're being recorded and your whole lectures. And I mean, I think it's funny that he asked for whoever was recording this to erase the footage, and they didn't, and they uploaded it to the internet, or it found its way to the internet somehow, like the next day. So, I don't know. What are your thoughts on this? I think this is a great move by the University of Kansas, and this is not freedom of speech. Like everybody was, we had the teachers here in Oklahoma. There was that woman from Ada or Ardmore who got fired and had her teacher's license revoked for praising the events of July 13th. And she actually she was upset. She was upset that the shooter on July 13th missed. And there was another teacher that had his license revoked. Reagan Kalaki, I think that's his name. I posted about it a couple weeks ago, but go read that post. Go check it out on my page. I think that what happened was fair. I think that his license being removed or revoked at the end of the day was a good thing. But I also don't agree with somebody going onto somebody's social media and going 6 or 7 years back and trying to find dirt on people to get them fired because they don't agree with their political stance. Now, if you don't know the full context of that story, he basically, during Halloween, it was like literally 6 or 7 years ago around this time, he posted a picture at Walgreens or some store somewhere with a Trump Halloween mask and a fake knife, like a plastic knife, near Trump's, like the Trump mask head. And probably shouldn't have posted that, but that was to his private Instagram. It was private. It was only to exclusive a number of people. And that resurfaced after the events of July 13th this year. I have a hard time, like, I totally understand why he was fired. I totally get it, but it's just like, like I said, I don't like the fact that, like, they should have taken care of it at the time. Like, he was a teacher. He's been a teacher. Like, he was a teacher, I think, in Edmonton for like 20 years or something like that. And I looked up his voting records. He was a registered Democrat, but a lot of people thought he was a great guy. He was a great teacher. And I've heard nothing but positive things about the guy, so I hate to judge somebody off of one Instagram post, and I hate cancel culture, and I know this is not really the same thing as cancel culture, but the lady in Ardmore who was praising the events of Trump's assassination, that was fair, totally fair. That's real time. They took care of it in real time, and that was totally okay with me. I think that needed to happen. But it's something about going back, 6 or 7 years on an Instagram post or a private Instagram page. I don't like how that doesn't set right with me. Even though I disagree with it, and I think that you obviously can't advocate for things like that, and regardless of political views, you shouldn't, and he shouldn't have posted that. And same with this guy at the University of Kansas, he shouldn't have said that. And those are that's the thing about freedom of speech. You can say these things, you can post these things, but there will be consequences.
Corporations feed us lies, deadly surprise, chemical cocktails in every bite, poison served, daily profits they chase, with palms in a twisted rhyme. Former kings build castles from pain, pill for every ill, hollow empty gain. Sicknesses, their currency, wealth, their creed. We bleed, they feast on our need. Make America healthy again. Breathe clean skies and run free. Flow from earth, not metal, can real through real life, reality. Bills for pills, round and round we fall. Hands tied by the shiny blinding wall. In the shadows, control they thrive. Awake now, we must stand alive. Hollow words from screens like the night. Truth buried deep, gotta fight the fight. Rise against the tide of fake healing. Love and nature, our true feeling. Love and nature, our true feeling. Make America healthy again. Breathe clean skies and run free. Grow from earth, not metal, can real food, real life, reality. Make America live, live, live. Former kings build castles from plain, pill for every ill, hollow, empty gain. Sickness is their currency, wealth their creed. We bleed, they feast on our need. Make America healthy again. Breathe clean skies and run free. Grown from an earth, not metal can. Real food, real life, reality. Make America healthy again. Breathe clean skies and run free. Grown from earth, not metal can. Real food, real life, reality. Bills for pills, round and round we fall. Hands tied by their shiny blinding walls. In the shadows control they thrive. Awake now we must stand alive. Hollow words from screens like a knife. Truth buried deep, gotta fight the fight. Rise against the tide of fake healing. Love and nature are true feeling. Awake now we must stand alive. Hollow words from screens like a knife. Truth buried deep, gotta fight the fight. Rise against the tide of fate, the fake healing. Love and nature are true feeling. Love and nature are true feeling. Hollow words from screens like a knife. Truth buried deep, gotta fight the fight. Rise against the tide of fake healing. Unity breaks are our true feeling. Love and nature are true feeling. True feeling.
Well, this is something you won't see on the mainstream news tonight. One of the largest grassroots protest against a food company in the United States, in the U.S. history, is happening right now, and that is at Catalog's headquarters in Battle Creek, Michigan, and it is put on by Callie and Casey Means, and Jason Karp is there, and Alex Clark. There's a whole bunch of people there. Here is some video from that I first saw of it.
Do what's right! 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 Do what's right!
If you don't hear what they said, it's do what's right. I thought they were saying USA, but it's do what's right. I totally agree.
Do what's right!
If you don't remember, there was this video that went viral a couple weeks ago at the round table for the American Health and Nutrition. Jason Karp was there telling people, hey, there is a difference in ingredients, and there's a huge difference in other countries' products. And these American companies are already removing these dyes. They're already removing the bad stuff and shipping it to other countries. Why can't they do it here? And so this is the video that went viral a few weeks ago. If you missed it, here is their comparisons of Canadian Fruit Loops versus America's.
Debate. But with artificial food dyes, they have shown all over the world that they can use colorants that come from fruit.
This is the Canadian version.
This is the brightness of the Canadian version, just for visibility. And this is the brightness of artificial food dyes. So, of course, Kellogg and other food companies will argue children prefer this over this, just as they would prefer cocaine over sugar. That doesn't make it okay.
But I think... And on top of the dyes that is in there, there's also seed oils. Here's a video from Paul Saladino. He's a social media doctor. He's a doctor guy, and he's a really good follow if you haven't checked him out. I actually like a lot of the stuff he posts. Here's what he posted. I think this was last year. I wanted to
the cereal aisle at the grocery store is a train wreck, guys. I used to love Fruit Loops as a kid. You probably loved Fruit Loops as a kid. Maybe your kids eat Fruit Loops. Did you know that Fruit Loops contains high fructose corn syrup, it contains seed oils, and it contains multiple dyes, yellow 6, red 40, red 3, blue 1, some of which have been linked to hyperactivity and behavioral problems in kids. This is what we're feeding our children. This is what we consider healthy because it's low in fat.
I hope that Kellogg's takes action on this. I hope that that they hear their concerns. But if you want to take it a step farther, don't buy their products. And just like this video down here of Alex Clark, she's threatening, if they don't listen to us today, we'll bankrupt them. Well, I think you should do that anyway, because they tend to listen to things like that, because it really doesn't matter who you are or what you stand for. What the companies out there, they will listen when it costs them money. And I think that if 400,000 people are willing to sign a petition, I think 400,000 people should also refuse to buy their catalog products. And if you go look at the companies that catalog owns and refuse to support them.
Thank you so much for being here. I just want to tell you one thing, and that is that the chronic disease curse of the next generation of children ends with American moms, the ones that are here today, the ones that are watching. I am so encouraged by all of you, and it really is the American mom on average who is the one making those choices in the grocery store, right? And so if Kellogg's, hopefully they will listen to us today and they will hear our voices. But if they don't, we are so committed to bankrupting them into oblivion.
Good. Like, there is no health benefit to any kind of cereal. It really doesn't matter what it is. It's so, if you just look at, I've not had a bowl of cereal in like forever, but I used to buy like Honey Bunches of Oats, which I think they're owned by Catalog, maybe wrong, but I can't do any kind of cereal anymore, just because of it just doesn't agree with my system, and I don't think it tastes good, and there's no health benefit to it, and but I say, hey, instead of feeding your kids cereal, give them bacon. Give them meat, and give them eggs, and give them good stuff like organic fruits and things like that. Cereal and Pop-Tarts and all this shit. It's not good. It's not good. Here's another video of them delivering these boxes of signatures, and they had kind of a run-in with the security guard there at the office.
I'm with corporate security. I'm not a spokesperson. I'm here to help facilitate the delivery of your petitions.
Great. Okay.
All right, so
we're very peaceful. Don't worry.
No worries. The building is card access only, so we cannot let anybody in today.
Okay, so you're not good. No one's going to come and deliver.
We don't have it. I will take these. Will take these where they need to go, and leadership will review them. We don't have anybody from leadership available today to speak to you all.
Anyone from investor relations? I am a shareholder.
Yep, you can reach out to them online on the website through investor relations.
So no one's willing to meet with us in person?
I'm with corporate security. I'm not a spokesperson. I can't answer that question.
Can you go talk to your boss and see if you can talk to someone in there? I'm sure someone in the C-level executive suite will come out and talk to us. I mean, we have 400,000 voices here on a petition. We've been calling, we've been emailing, we've been sending letters to your corporate headquarters to have a meeting and discussion. We have a shareholder right here that's being denied entry to the building to have a meeting.
I appreciate your efforts. However, I will escalate this to leadership, and they will respond in kind.
So Kellogg's is going to turn their back on the American children today.
I am just with corporate security. I'm not a spokesperson for Kellogg.
So Kellogg's is turning their back on America today. Is that what you're saying?
Just with corporate security.
Yeah. That's what's happening here today. Do you know that they're using artificial dyes here in the United States and BHT that's linked to cancer, but not in other countries? Do you know that Kellogg's does that?
I appreciate your opinion, and I'll take it to leadership, but I'm just with security.
Countries like Canada, the UK, Europe, Australia, everywhere else. Why don't our own American children deserve these safer cereals? Why?
Thank you, ma'am. I appreciate your opinion.
I mean, he's just a security guard, ma'am. I mean, look, I love her passion, and I think it's good to see people standing up, and I love seeing stuff like this. This takes me back to the protests in 2020 that happened all over the world, and I think people are waking up, and I think one of the best things that Trump has done is brought RFK on and started this movement, and I think ever since COVID, like, people are really dialed in to their health, and more than ever, people are very concerned about eating healthy and putting good things, and they're reading labels and they're researching, and it's good to see. It's so great to see this, and it's absolutely fantastic. So I hope the catalogs will listen to their concerns. I totally support these folks 100%. Here is another video coming out of that.
Service, a draft. About a month ago, I went out and requested through our drafting service a draft of a piece of legislation that would simply say that if we're going to fund public schools, we're going to take your tax dollars and put them into our public schools. Couldn't we at least say that in those schools, our children cannot be served food that contains these dyes and a certain list of other toxic chemicals? And when I put that request in, I got a notice back from the drafting service saying, be aware, although it's not been introduced yet, there is another legislator who has asked for a similar piece of legislation, and they're on the other side of the aisle from you. Right? How awesome is that? How awesome.
I don't really understand how this is a political issue. This shouldn't be a political thing, and it's good to see people coming together on this. I mean, the iconic photo of Trump shaking hands with RFK Jr. That's a very iconic, very iconic photo, and it just happened. And Joe Rogan talked about this on his podcast with Callie and Casey Means about somehow fitness and somehow eating healthy is like this some kind of right-wing extreme thing, and it shouldn't be labeled as that. It should be like, you should, no matter who you support or what your views are, you should be putting good things in your body, and you should be concerned about these companies. And I think that people have been so asleep for so long, and like I said, COVID was when a lot of people just, their eyes are open, and it's really been a brutal awakening. But I think people are finally coming. And so if you want to watch the live stream, here is I'll retweet this. Here is a live stream from the Midwesterner. If you want to check that out, and follow me on Twitter for more of these videos and posts. And go check out that podcast with Callie and Casey Means on Tucker and Joe. Such a great interview, such a lot, like so much information on that podcast that I probably might have to watch it again, because it's just so jam packed with just important stuff. And the American people have been lied to, and it's good to see people standing up for the health of kids. And I totally support this. And if you want to take it a step further, like stop buying these products. Instead of feeding your kids Pop-Tarts and cereal and oatmeal and all that kind of stuff, feed them bacon, feed them eggs and good stuff. Fruits without all the Bill Gates spray on it. I thought I'd share this story because I think it's a really important story that probably won't get picked up by a lot of people. So I saw this story earlier on TikTok, and I had to do a little bit of digging to figure out what exactly this video was all about. And I'm still a little bit unclear on what exactly happened, but basically, this business owner in Asheville, North Carolina, was working with FEMA, and he has a warehouse there, like an art studio. It's like an event center. They were actually getting ready before the hurricane hit to do a haunted house for Halloween. And it's like a big warehouse thing where he has events and art festivals and things like that. It's called The Portal. And he was renting this warehouse, and basically FEMA came in and told him that they want his space. And I saw it on TikTok and you can't trust anything on TikTok these days. There's some truth to the story that FEMA is fucking people over, and this guy I feel horrible for. There's a GoFundMe if you want to donate to his cause. That's why I'm sharing this story to get the word out there. But from what I originally heard was like FEMA is evicting this guy. Well, yes and no. FEMA is basically taking over his lease, and they're paying, from my understanding, I may be wrong, but they're paying his lease, and they want to use his space for 90 days. And they basically told this guy, you have 30 days to get out. And so, yeah, they're technically evicting him because he can't use that space anymore. I mean, he was just trying to help out his community and store supplies for the hurricane victims there in Asheville. And there's also some weird things about a dumpster. Like they wanted a dumpster to be put in the back because it might offend people or what. Like, it was some bullshit excuse about. So I want you to listen to his video, and of course, social media is doing this thing. If you notice, with stories surrounding the hurricane, they do it on Facebook. They have done it on Instagram. That's why my page has been shadow banned. My page was hit very hard over this, and they do it on TikTok. They've done it on other platforms, and it's similar to COVID. And whenever you see this verified disaster info, you know that there's some fuckery going on, right? So I want you to watch this video that he put up on TikTok the other day, or yesterday, I think, maybe, or a couple days ago. Hear it from his own words, and here it is.
If I look tired, that's because I am. I've been volunteering with the distribution of food and supplies with FEMA here luckily at the same building where the portal is, my business. On Friday, I found out companies have been sending these products that are not going to be distributed to the public because they don't meet certain health requirements. And they're going to store them in Suite 1400, the big room, which is where I have events and a big portion of my business model. For the next 90 days, they have to store all these hazardous food products, basically pallets and pallets of Prime. Can't make this shit up. So that's a big hit. I'm like, okay, no events for 90 days. I can work with that. I still have other spaces. I still have this room, gallery hall, as well as another room on the other side of that wall. And then back here I have my office, which I call the utility room, because it was a utility room, and out here, the courtyard. Finally getting cleaned up. It's a big mess out here. But I just got a phone call today saying they need the courtyard to put 2 dumpsters in it. I said, okay. For how long? And they said, well, and why won't you put the dumpsters in the back with all the other dumpsters? Basically, and yeah, I can't make this shit up. Basically, they said, well, we don't want the dumpsters to be seen by people driving by or whatever. As a matter of fact, we just emailed you your lease termination paperwork. So you're telling me that FEMA and National Guard have just commandeered my space while I'm looking for a new place to live?
Now, I don't know if that lease agreement or if that termination means that he can come back after 90 days or he has to find another place altogether. I don't know. I have no idea. I don't even know. Like, I didn't even realize they could do this. FEMA could just come in and say, you're gone. But I guess they want his space, and that's where they're doing this. But it's still bullshit. And I would love an update. I looked on his social page, and I've not found on his Instagram. There's not really a lot more information about it other than this video, but it's still insane that they can just come in and say you have to leave.
Volunteer and still work to get some income whenever I can. Now it's all gone. It's not, we'll relocate you or compensate you for 90 days. It's straight, we need your space. You have 30 days to leave. I don't know what to do. I've been searching for a place like this for 3 years. I just put everything into this, all my time. You know how it goes. The portal, to me, is not just my art studio and where I make a living. It was everything to me. I would get another studio space before I find a place to live. Anytime, all the time, every time. I'm still in shock. I don't know. I really don't know what I'm going to do. Here we go again. Support me if you want to. I really appreciate everybody. I'm just I didn't get wiped out by the hurricane itself, but the company that's doing the hurricane relief. I mean, there's enough space for everybody. Put the dumpsters in the, shitty companies don't send shitty products for your tax break. I don't know. I'm just gonna stop bitching. I don't know. It's just so crazy. I don't know. I'm gonna document the next month or so process of what I'm doing, when I know what I'm doing, just telling y'all updates, I guess. I can't believe I got pushed out by FEMA.
That's insane. It's one thing to be told to leave and not get any kind of relocation help. Like it's just insane. I mean, I guess I would understand it better if they did give them some kind of assistance to relocate your business over here for 90 days. You can still operate and do events and still make a living. I mean, you have to understand, there's people in Asheville that they still have to find a way to make a living. Like, life just doesn't stop, right? I mean, I'm assuming that there are some programs for everybody affected, there's some relief programs as far as bills and loans and things like that goes. I would hope so. I would hope so. I mean, I would hope that mortgages are not having to still be paid in the home that was destroyed. I mean, that would be absolutely insane. But no, there is a GoFundMe for Jay Watson if you would like to help out in his cause, and hopefully, this is for housing and business recovery, but also treat this as a legal fund, because he's definitely going to need some kind of legal help with this, because if I'm understanding this correct, they are pushing out this guy to use his space, and they're basically making it to where he can't make a living anymore. I mean, from what I see, the building is usable, and I don't really understand. Like I said, I don't really understand the whole dumpsters thing either. Like, why does it matter where the dumpsters go? Like, usually in businesses, they are in the back of the business, and it's this whole story is insane. And I just thought I would get the word out there in case you haven't seen it. I looked on Twitter; it has gone semi-viral, but not a lot of people are talking about it. So I'll put the GoFundMe in the description below if you would like to contribute to that. Anyway, thanks guys so much for watching. Be sure to follow me on Twitter and also TikTok for more. I repost videos like this every day, and I don't post them anywhere else. So follow me over there. Follow me on Twitter and also Instagram. And I'm going to start making these little short videos. I kind of like them better than, I mean, if I have time. The time issue is kind of a deal breaker for me. Sometimes I don't have time to even post, right? So, but when I have time, I think I'll just do short videos, and yeah, this is fun. So thank you for watching. I appreciate it, and have a great day.